and a well-oiled machine, but so are North Melbourne. And they'll be very proud and looking to get themselves back onto the winners list. We go up into the middle. Box Hill get the tap down. And immediately paddling it away is Rhodes. Kicked away from Williamson. And they'll put it through Scott. King, the captain, gets the kick forward. Dijuk, the excitement machine, is involved in the first contest inside 50. And the Hawks manage to wrap it in there and don't let it go any further.
She's a star, Nyako Dijuk, isn't she?
She is.
Love watching her play.
She
Grand
just
final last year, almost won the game for Collingwood.
Makes things happen as well. The kick forward by Jackson. The fly comes from the back. Tierney is there. So a stoppage inside forward 50 for the North Melbourne Kangaroos.
So can they get the first score on the board? Dijuk won the tap. Rhodes went straight through and went bang! What a start for North Melbourne. Audrey Rhodes straight off the pack. Wonderful tap from Dijuk. And that is just what the doctor ordered for the Kangaroos. 1 straight 6. Box Hill yet to score in the first minute.
Well, there it is. Nyako Dijuk creating something immediately. But Audrey Rhodes, what a wonderful piece of craft to be able to kick that goal and put North Melbourne in front immediately against the top of the table.
Good to see someone with the name can actually play footy. Because
I'm sure you're not a bad exponent of the name yourself, mate. Don't worry.
No, I couldn't get a kick in a fuse box when I was playing, so it's good to see that Audrey is a star, best and fairest winner as well.
We go up once more. Box Hill this time trying to forge it forward, and it comes out. We'll get the handball away and can push it inside the 50. Off hands, a couple of players fall over, and North Melbourne are going to be the beneficiaries. Sheridan on the near side, looking for Jackson, who's going to be corralled immediately here. It's Spammer, who laid 12 tackles last week. She was extraordinary in her pressure. The ball treacles out of play. Well, umpire says no. It is kept in. The kick forward to a one-on-one. Ling is down there for North Melbourne. She'll get there first. Hipwell will corral her. And a great piece of forward pressure from the Hawks.
Yeah, with all the stars that Box Hill have, Danica Spammer was best on ground last week. I was here, I saw that game, and her work rate was just outstanding. It was a big part of why they beat Williamstown here under all sorts of pressure as Tam Luke has it ripped away from her by Rhodes, hooks it out towards half-back. Spammer goes by hand, got it to Baskaran, well beaten last week she was, looking for a better performance today. And it'll trickle away and go out of bounds for a throw-in. Yeah, Charlotte Baskaran was tagged out of the game last week.
Yep, 16 disposals.
And probably about 9 of those came in the last 10 minutes. So she was well beaten by Michaela Plunkett, actually. So I wonder if North will have gone to work on that.
Ball tossed in the forward pocket. The punch came, and bursting through for North is Barber, but she's met by 2. And we'll get another ball up. So a couple of forward 50 stoppages already in this contest, and Sarah King, you feel for North, is going to have a really big influence on this game. Bursting through the pack. Handball not so good. The smother was. Getting the quick kick out there. The Box Hill Hawks. Was it a mark? Yes, it was.
Luke.
And it is Luke down there. Tamara Luke. 26th game it is for her. 1 goal, 1 last week with 25 hitouts.
Brilliant set of hands.
Yep.
Tam Luke, she doesn't drop many.
There was the kick from Cassie Davidson, who just managed her work rate to get through that pack. Was brilliant. And Luke kicks the first for the Hawks. Great contested mark. Their marking last week, the Box Hill Hawks, they were plus 38, 60 to 22 against Williamstown. And that was a big exponent of their game last week. And it was one of the reasons why they managed to hold on, I feel. And yeah, they're holding them already today.
Yeah, and that's what they had to do, because Williamstown were the better team in general play. They controlled the ball around the ground really well, the Seagulls, but Box Hill were able to hold their marks, slow it down. They took their opportunities when they presented themselves, and then they held firm when the Seagulls tried to come over the top. Rhodes with a little hand pass away, taken by DeCosmo. Star recruit from Carlton. Mark dropped by Tierney. the star recruit from Essendon. It'll be taken away by Stone. It's a new look North Melbourne team. They've signed very, very well from last year. Call with the footy here. Flanagan, can she get it out? Does. Trying to work through with Slaney. McLaughlin in there. And Stone. Bascarin sweeping around the side. It's not coming out up. So the changes for Box Hill today. Sophie Locke, AFLW, listed in for her first game of the year. Matilda Van Berkel back in. Jess Matten from injury. Paula Pavic on debut. And Taylor Kenobi playing her first game. We'll tell you about them in a minute.
Some puns we can certainly make about those players, Brendan, especially Kenobi. As the ball sort of sits in scrimmage in the middle of the ground and not going anywhere. King manages to wrap it up and we'll get another ball up.
Paula Pavic, 176 centimetres, 19 years of age, from Healesville via the Eastern Ranges. Taylor Kenobi, 164 centimetres, 20 years old, from the footy factory of Scobbs, St Kevin's.
Certainly a busy footy factory. Rhodes, leading disposal getter on the ground so far, inside the 50. It's off hands. Bursting through to Juk, trying to manufacture something. And that one's not coming out. Slaney wrapped up in the middle of it all.
So out of the team for Box Hill today, Talia Fellows called out by the AFLW. Ms. Kendall with an ankle injury, 1 to 3 weeks. Jess Cox, Grace Matz of the ruck, and Annie Mule were omitted.
Kick forward, bouncing towards goal, but treacles out of play. And North Melbourne take that slender lead back, 7-6.
So we're in the back pocket here with, I think that was Kenobi, first touch. Everest can't pick it up cleanly, under pressure from Rhodes, who then dumped it to the deck. And it'll be a ball up at half forward for North Melbourne. The Rucks go at it again. It was won by Pavic. Kick forward there from Embleton. Mark, however, taken for the Hawks. That is by Van Berkel. It's actually dropped for last week's game, so she'll be happy to get another opportunity. Spammer puts down the mark, shuffles it back to Kenobi. Clearing kick came from Bascarin up towards the wing. Ling will get back there first. Under pressure, manages to get the hand pass over the top. Doesn't favour Trisha Cowan, who is a late inclusion for North Melbourne. And she's gone holding the ball. Cowan was named in the emergencies.
Yes, she was. So the kick comes forward and they can move it on through Bascarin. Just that short passing at the moment. Good exponent, and that was absolutely brilliant from Bascarin, who ran around her direct opponent. The kick not so good, but they burst through the pack here, and Tamara Luke, who kicked that initial goal, managed to spoil the intercept and ensures that it goes nowhere. And nothing that Slaney could do. Coming up again, King beats Pavic. The kick comes away, not 15 called. A little soccer off the ground by Xander. Bit of agriculture in that, but North do manage to push it forward. Only just. Called their game against the Western Bulldogs in round 1, North Melbourne. Their forward pressure was so good, and the way that they managed to tackle, their ferocity was there. And you're right, Brendan, the way that they signed in the off-season, I think, was so impressive. The amount of players that they brought in.
That late change was the captain for North Melbourne. Jess Jones is not playing, so replaced by Trisha Cowan. As the Hawks work it forward, Caitlin Thorne. No mark taken there, but nicely done from Locke, who got free, sent it to half forward. Off hands it goes from Dylan, the hero last week. Great balk from Collingwood, but she didn't see the tackler coming the other direction and was wrapped up by Annabelle Scott. Scott will bring it off half back. Just dangerous little kick. Got to the target. Nicely done, McSweeney. She goes short to Rhodes. Gives the hand pass. They want to move the ball quickly. McSweeney went again. Got to Meyer, who goes to half forward, but playing in front and taking a safe mark is Kemp.
Kemp wheels around. Finds her teammate there in Matten. Kick towards the outer side wing. Williamson drops it. She's corralled by Rhodes, but then the follow-up effort was sensational. And the umpire says it's my ball.
So the changes for North Melbourne: Felicity Theodore, Brooke Slaney, Mara McSweeney and Amanda Ling originally came into the team for Cowan, Kira Delia, Sarah Hosking and Georgia Nicholas. Cowan now getting a reprieve for Jess Jones.
Let's see what she can manufacture here in a little bit of a lifeline for the late in. So stuck at a stalemate at the moment on that outer side wing, Brendan, and Box Hill being challenged early.
Around the grounds, midway through the last quarter, Williamstown in command against the Bulldogs, 6-4-40 to 2-7-19. So it'll be a victory there for Williamstown after a tough start to the season for them with the standard of their opposition. Luke won the tap down. It was knocked back into the contest. Trying to go through was Jackson. Managed to feed it out the back to Zander. Played her 50th game last week, Matilda Zander. Puts it to half forward to Jook. Nice work. Got it up to Tierney. Now McSweeney goes towards half forward, but back with the flight, taking a good mark is Stone.
Stone last week, well, she was at 9 disposals, but the more interesting story for her was that she was an AO ball kid and did the 2021 final between Djokovic and Medvedev. So she's no stranger to top quality athletes, that's for sure. As they push it forward here. Box Hill Hawks, they've just got such a good ability to move it, and they can go inside the 50. Running towards it is Hipwell. Does well, but Cowan corrals her and puts the pressure on. The quick kick forward is a good one. It's a chaos ball right towards the teeth of goal as they try and force it on. And at the bottom of it all was Hayley McLaughlin.
1 point the difference in favour of North Melbourne. They got the first goal, a wonderful roving effort from Rhodes. Tam Luke from a contested mark with the second for the Hawks. Loose footy here. Baskarin, wonderful smother by McSweeney. Came out to Zander, tumbled the kick off the outside of her boot, and the lasso rule is in effect. Emily Everest with the free kick. Sarah King, the new co-captain, waiting to come on for her first run in the ruck for North as the kick goes to full forward. Is that a mark at the front? The umpire doesn't think so. To Scott, and will come in and ball it up. Another chance for Box Hill to kick their second goal. It was over the top, and it's a wonderful goal for McLaughlin.
Came from nowhere.
Yeah, the clever tap down again from Bridie Hipwell. McLaughlin got it, just threw it on the boot, and it floated over the outstretched fingers of the defenders. We're seeing some quality roving inside 50 at both ends. Hayley McLaughlin with the goal this time for the Hawks.
Absolutely brilliant. The way that she read the tap down, it was brilliant. And just threw it on the boot, just knew where the goals were. And Hayley McLaughlin joined the Hawks in the AFLW expansion under 18 pathways at the end of the year last year. She'll be looking to make her mark with the brown and gold, that's for sure. Up we go in the middle. Still looking to try and get the clearance again, but Barber gets underneath and ensures that that goes nowhere. Ball up and comes out through Sheridan. Again at the bottom of the pack, and nothing's coming of it. A lot of stoppages you tend to see. And it's just who can win those clearances and who can be more clean going forward. At the moment, that's Box Hill, who force it towards the attacking 50. McLaughlin couldn't get the ball, so the quick kick comes away for North Melbourne. But a good, strong, contested grab came. And that's at the hands of Emily Everest, who goes along the outer side wing. Mark spilled, but the good pressure from the Hawks, and that is Matten. Handball came out past Rhodes. Kenobi going to use the force through the pack and does well. They continue to 4-8 out. Stone. And that's going to get wrapped in. Well, no, it's not. It continues to come out. Barber gets the kick away, looking for Rhodes, who does pick it up on the outer side wing. The kick forward, looking for Dejuk. Paddles it to her own advantage. Gets a quick handball away. Kemp does well, met by Dejuk. And now it's not going anywhere.
And they do like letting it go at VFLW level, don't they?
They certainly do.
It's not always the easiest for us, but it gives the players every chance to get it out themselves. Flanagan flicked it up, dispossessed there was Scott. Knocked out of the hands of Stone. Stolen here by Scott, who's caught. Wonderful tackle. Beautifully done by McClendon. She gets the free kick for Box Hill. So Ellie McClendon, just inside defensive 50, thinks about the switch, and now she'll do that. Pop it back towards the goal square. And that's Embleton. Brings it across to Kemp, who got there just in front of Paterno. Another who played her 50th VFLW game earlier this year, back in round 1. Long kick to half back. It'll be intercepted by Amanda Ling. Missed last week's game, back in today. Former Western Bulldog. Also played for Port Melbourne early on in her career. Dejuk on the lead. Couldn't take the mark. Strong tackle put on there, brought down Butler. And the clearing kick is marked at half back. And it was taken by Locke.
Fly came. Sheridan down there for North Melbourne. Does well, but the ball still comes out. King ensures that Cassie Davidson will not move. Some great pressure already from both sides. King got the tap down. It came to Scott, who got it to DeCosmo. And DeCosmo along the near side. Slapped out of the hands of Tierney.
Not in time. Mark paid.
They did pay it. I thought it was a free kick for an arm chop as well. It could have gone either way, but North Melbourne will go forward nonetheless. Tierney, kick inboard, right over the head of her teammate in Barber, but the kick forward from Scott goes right to the pocket. She'll want it to bounce in, and it will. So they'll get a stoppage inside 50 here. They lead, or they trail by 5 points, North Melbourne. Box Hill, that well-oiled machine that they are, will look to really push forward and go on with another win. They've started 4-0.
Still 8 AFLW listed players out here for the Box Hill Hawks today. As the tap down came from Pavic. Centering ball for Jackson. Heads towards the goal square. Lovely pick up and snap from Tierney. And the Bombers premiership player has kicked the goal for North Melbourne.
What a start. High scoring affair. North back in front. And Tierney, the ground level work by some of the players this morning. We've had 3 goals just from a sheer crumb. Tierney got one. Audrey Rhodes with a brilliant goal to open proceedings today. And then Hayley McLaughlin, the last goal that the Hawks kicked. Absolutely brilliant, Brendan.
Yeah, just one action, wasn't it? Just picked it up, stopped, turned back inside. The Hawks girls couldn't stop as quickly. And a wonderful snap around the corner on the right boot for Renee Tierney.
She's a very strong player, Tierney. Hard to beat in a one-on-one, and that time it was a one-on-two. And she got the job done.
As I said, a member of that undefeated Essendon Premiership 2 years ago.
Comes through Bascarin, inside 50 for the quick reply. And they will get that shot on goal. And it is going to be Ellie Hipwell. Or Bridie Hipwell, I should say. Sorry. So Hipwell.
You did say they build their game on marking strength, and Bridie Hipwell's another one with a wonderful pair of hands.
Very tall and athletic. Comes in. Needs to bend back.
Speaking of hands.
Another sensational mark right on the goal line. And, well, guess who?
Yeah,
Tam Luke.
Who else would it be?
And she'll go back and she'll kick her second here and put the Box Hill Hawks back in front from the Gabby Collingwood goal square. Bang. Third goal for the Hawks. They regain the lead in yet another lead change in this sensational opening quarter. And, well, there's just 10 seconds left of it, Brendan.
It's been a terrific start. We're not going to get a restart there, so it will be quarter time here at Fenju Stadium. A fantastic start from both teams, and it is the Box Hill Hawks 3 straight 18 leading North Melbourne 2-1-13. Tamara Luke with 2 goals for Williamstown in the earlier game, 7-4-46 to 3-3-21 against Western Bulldogs. Underway, Val Febo.
Thank you, Brendan, and a good start to the quarter from Xanthos, who takes the intercept mark from the Box Hill clearance. Couple of lead changes already in this contest, and it has been a brilliant one at that. Nykote Dajuk, the excitement machine, ensures that she wraps it in. The first game I called of North Melbourne this year against the Dogs, she just manages to manufacture so much. What a tap forward by King. It's going to come towards the Cosmo, who uses her body and then goes back in and gets the ball. Finds herself at the bottom of the pack, and it's not going anywhere. Umpire took a bit long to blow the whistle, and then the ball ended up coming out, and then he blew it. So, didn't look too good there, but nonetheless, we go on and go forward. Nice little fend off. And the Hawks can propel it away from defensive 50. Luke is going to lumber for it. She's beaten to the ball. Gabby Collingwood. Nice little inboard kick. And it works out to perfection. Dillon gets the handball forward, and now they can move it on. Thorne inside the 50. Over the head of everybody. It'll treacle towards the boundary line. Hit well. Just misses, hit the post. One behind to start proceedings.
You see the look to the heavens, wondering how she missed that.
It was from point blank range, but it does happen.
So Sheridan brings it back into play. Booted up by Hales, one of the most experienced players in the VFLW, Nick Hales. Kick goes to North Melbourne due to holding the ball. And it'll be put up the wing. Oh, nice mark by Sarah King. Collingwood recruit and new co-captain. Chips it to half forward. And that will be a mark as well for the Hawks. And it's Rosie Dillon who kicked the winning goal last week against Williamstown. Danica Spammer has the footy right on the Middleborough Road wing. Pops it up towards half forward as the breeze starts to get up a bit here at Fenju Stadium. And a free kick for a trip to Thorne, who brings it back inboard. Nice trap with one hand by Pavic. Swung back around onto the right boot. Dumped it inside 50. Hipwell a chance at the back. Got a kick away. Ling got a hand in there and managed to get back and rush it through for a behind to Box Hill. Their second of the game. They lead by 7 points.
Certainly do. So they extend that gap now to more than a goal. North Melbourne led and kicked the first of the game and briefly took the lead after their second as well. But Tam Luke, in what is game number 68 for her, managed to give them back the lead, the 36-year-old. Handball comes over the top. Barber get it off to Tierney. And the use out of congestion, very good. Here is Dajuk. Thorne intercepted the handball and they can force it forward. Van Berkel off to McClendon. Back to Thorne inside 50. The pack flies. Falling hard was Ling. Sheridan gets the handball away and Jackson will move it on for the Kangaroos. Looking for Dajuk, who's going to have to wait for it to bounce. Tries to paddle it to her own advantage. She's going to get there with her speed, but the problem was she didn't make connection with the ball. Van Berkel forces it forward for North Melbourne. The Hawks. Spoiled away by Sheridan. There's Jackson. And she's going to be wrapped up.
Amanda Ling still in the hands of 3 trainers now.
It was a heavy fall.
Yep. I reckon she just knocked the wind out of herself. She's going to make her way to the bench. But they're a player down for a little while here, North Melbourne. Dillon. Tumble to kick inside 50. Spammer tracks it. Davidson couldn't get there either because it's inside the 50. It'll be tossed in and managed to get Ling to break into a run as she heads off to be checked out. She will probably be okay once she catches her breath. So boundary throw in inside 50 here for Box Hill. They lead by 7. Tapped down by King. Tapped forward by Scott. Big hit on Williamson. Trying to shrug under the tackle, Kenobi. Well, she stopped playing because she heard the high one. She felt the high one. And the umpire fell into it. Free kick was there, but it wasn't seen until she stopped.
Inside 50 by Kenobi, and the intercept mark taken. And it's Tierney who's doing some good work all around the ground today. The kill, as I say that, the intercept mark taken by Spammer, putting her teammate under immediate pressure with a looping handball. It just didn't work. Should she have taken the kick, probably would have liked that opportunity back. And Maya can move it on, shrugs one. The quick little kick towards De Cosmo. It won't be paid a mark. She dropped it anyway, tried to get the handball. Didn't work out. It'll be balled in once again, and Danica Spammer, I think she would like that opportunity again, just to kick it a bit longer.
Well, a slow handball to a player standing still.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to be doing when you're going inside 50 is they just force it out. That mark is going to be taken by McLaughlin, who kicked a brilliant roving goal before. Goes with the inboard kick. It's over everybody's head. De Cosmo did well. Here's Rhodes. Finds Slaney, but that kick not good. McLaughlin's going to propel it again. She needs to be clean. She's not. De Cosmo is. Gets the handball off to Paterno. She's about to be mown down. She gets the quick kick away. Dejuk manages to try and keep it in there. Rhodes overruns it. The soccer comes away into the middle of Fenju Oval. Tam Luke running around a couple, forgetting her age of 36. Spammer inside 50. Doing well is Hipwell. It comes out, the kick forward by Luke, right towards goal, is going to be intercepted, and it's Xanthos.
Yeah, the goalkeeper was back, Annalise Xanthos. Went short to Xander. Wonder how often that happens when X kicks it to Z.
It's a Scrabble Masters paradise today.
McSweeney will put it all the way back to the back pocket. And they'll start again through Hales. It's thumped away by Everest, but recovering better Flanagan. Run around Everest, gave it back to McSweeney. They can build here, the Kangaroos. Scott pops it up towards the wing. Nice kick, finds Tierney. They've got a loose player going now. Barber. What a star she is. Plays on, has a bounce, goes inside 50. Dejuk on the lead. Terrific football, North Melbourne.
How good was that little double back?
Dejuk looked like she was racing back towards the goal square. And you see that a lot at AFL level, don't you, where they double bluff the fullback. And Dejuk did that expertly. And a good kick for goal too is Nia Coates. 7-2 so far this season. It's averaging almost 2 goals a game. Kicks on its way. It might not have the legs, actually. It's off hands. Annabelle Scott wrapped up as soon as she grabbed the footy. Stone will be happy to rush it through. But she just leant back on that kick a little bit, Dejuk, and as a result, didn't get the purchase that she would have liked.
It was straight as well. Nonetheless, it's a goal the difference, and North Melbourne are going with the top team at the moment. A bit unlucky in having to play Sydney when they did. Sydney's such a well-oiled machine, and called them a couple of weeks ago. They are so well provisioned. The tackle almost came and almost brought them unstuck, but Pavic does well to take the mark. The kick right towards the near side wing. It goes over the top and ends up coming out in the hands of Dillon. It goes towards the attacking 50, paddled forward by Hipwell. McLaughlin back to Hipwell. Inboard kick. Goes right towards the teeth of goal. Matten is there. Wrapped up by 2 Kangaroos. just the speed in which they used the ball there almost brought North Melbourne unstuck.
It did, and once again, as we've seen at both ends so far, an attempt to gather the football when a kick off the ground probably would have been the right move. Matten tried to take it off the ruck, and again a rush behind put through by Slaney. It's good to see that that at any level the players do try to use their hands, but every now and again there's just that one where the kick out of mid-air would get the job done.
For sure.
Brooke Sheridan looking after commentators with a helmet and long sleeves.
Certainly does help.
And it brings it in. Was that a push on Sarah King? Umpire said no. Everest did well. Got a hand pass off to McLaughlin. Inside 50. Off hands Hipwell. Well, Davidson was appealing for the free kick for having the arm dragged down. And meanwhile, Hipwell was taking it in one motion off the marking contest and kicking another terrific goal today.
Brilliant. Well, she made up for the one that she missed from about that spot in the opening minute of this quarter. And Bridie Hipwell, she will be loving life at the moment. She's put her team 13 points up halfway through this second term.
Around the grounds, I'll just repeat that final score. I made a bit of a meal of it earlier. Williamstown 7-4-46 defeated Western Bulldogs 3-7-25. So a very good victory for the Seagulls there at DSV Stadium.
It was. Good win over a pretty solid team in the Western Bulldogs. Bursting through, there was Slaney. Comes out to Bascarin. They can try and push on here. Embleton got it out. Bascarin now. Short little kick is good and finds Everest. Surveying her options. This is what they did well last week against Williamstown. Just those uncontested marks. Bascarin gets her third disposal in this passage of play, and she's done that a couple of times today, breaking ankles all over the ground. But a great mark, intercept mark, taken by the helmet warrior, Brooke Sheridan.
So Sheridan, slow to get up. Favouring the left leg there. So that was good work by Hales to see that and come past to receive the handball. Jackson pops it forward to Xanthos. The next target is the important one, and the marking power is on show for the Hawks. Dillon. Former St Kilda player Rosie Dillon put it back out wide to Everest. Draws the player and then goes herself back onto the left boot. Wobbles it inside 50. It'll bounce just inside the line and they can reset from about 30 metres.
Sitting in a bit of a stalemate at the moment. Just the one goal coming in recent minutes, and that was to Bridie Hipwell. Ball tossed back in. Good use of the body by Luke. Ends up coming out. McSweeney only went as far as Everest. And now they can quickly use it. Luke, a short little pass. Doesn't quite come off. The snap coming towards goal is a very good one. And it's off Sophie Locke.
That's a terrific kick from Sophie Locke.
Well, if there's one thing they are, Box Hill, they're locked in. And Sophie Locke ensuring of it.
Early birthday present for Sophie. Turns
23 next week.
Yep, 23. That will be on the 24th. So what's that, about 4 days away?
Yes. Today's the 20th.
The days all roll into one during footy season. Which, of course, we love because it's less time before the next game, isn't it?
That's true, especially with the amount of Thursday games that we have, and I think Anzac Eve, Anzac Day next week. So there's pretty much footy on most of the days during the week at this time.
Absolutely perfect as we get restarted again. North Melbourne in desperate need of a goal now. The Box Hill Hawks have turned up the heat. The kick goes inside 50. It'll be picked up here. Well, it could have been picked up by McClendon, but she was just bumped off the ball. The umpire will have to sort it out. Last one up, Alana Barber involved there as well. Another one of those Bombers premiership players. Lost a spot on the AFLW list, so decided to move across to North Melbourne. Clearing kick for Bascarin. Is it out to Collingwood? Has a couple to deal with here. Got it back to Spammer. Arriving was Davidson. Pops the kick over the top to Locke, the most recent goal kicker. Moved it quickly, did Sophie Locke. Long ball towards half forward. Matten back with the flight. Did everything but hang on. Davidson can't keep it in.
Very close to taking that mark was Jess Matten.
Round the grounds to the VFL, Southport 2-4-16 leading Essendon 2-3-15 at quarter time. And GWS with the first goal against Werribee at Avalon Airport Oval. 51-point win for Frankston over the Northern Bull Ants last night.
Believe you were there, Brendan?
I was.
Good win for Frankston, that's for sure. Ball beats McLaughlin to the fence.
Yeah, a bit of a scrappy game, a lot of errors, but Frankston just a little bit more class for the Bull Ants last night, and an important win for them.
Battle of the standalones would have been rocking out there on Friday night footy. Out on the bay. Spammer does well at ground level, gets the handball out, and a high tackle I think is going to be paid. Advantage. Just missing. So Box Hill really peppering North Melbourne at the moment. Kangaroos haven't even really looked like scoring this quarter into the final 3.5 minutes, Brendan Rhodes.
Yeah, North Melbourne under the pump right now, having added just one behind in this quarter and a rushed one at that. They need to find it out of here. De Cosmo, handball to open space. And open space was too close to the boundary line. I reckon the umpires must love that new signal, the lasso.
It's more of a fun free kick that they can pay.
It is, yeah.
And not a controversial one.
It's just quite simple. As Davidson flies, couldn't take the mark over Hales. Slaney brought down in the tackle by Davidson. There has been a fair groundswell of support to bring that rule in to men's footy as well. Hasn't happened as yet outside the sandful, as that is a terrific tackle put on by Rosie Dillon. And she wins a free kick against Slaney for holding the ball 30 metres out directly in front. And this will be a big, big lead if she goes back and puts it through. We saw last week she nailed a set shot from about 45 metres out against Williamstown in the third quarter. This one's a walk in the park. Rosie Dillon gets her first of the day. The Hawks are out by 26 points now.
It's quite unbelievable. It's just sort of come out of nowhere. North Melbourne were right in this game early. And yet another goal to the Box Hill Hawks, their third of the term. And they would be absolutely loving life. They want to keep that undefeated run going. And they're going about it in perfect fashion. Rosie Dillon, 12 disposals already, as has Charlotte Bascarin. They're both the two highest rated players on the ground.
Yeah, there's no tag for Bascarin today that I've seen so far, and she's taking advantage. She does have Alana Barber running with her, but Barber's more of an attacking player too.
And here is Bascarin, speak of the devil. She's in a bit of trouble, but she runs around her opponent, gets the handball away. Went for the 1-2, but it was brilliantly done there. On the wing from North Melbourne, inside the 50, a quick kick. Was there a hold? No, Dejuk overruns it. Doing really nicely was Paterno. Comes towards Rhodes, tries to get the kick away. No holding the ball paid. And they can burst away here, the Box Hill Hawks. They won't go far. Intercept mark taken by Xander. She's going to swing it back inside 50. Right to the hot spot. Dejuk there. It came off her hands. And again, a quick kick out. Xander can't take the mark this time. And the Hawks can run it up. Hipwell. Luke. Back to Hipwell, who goes for a run on Fenju Stadium. towards the goal, towards the attacking 50. It bounced a couple of times, and that's a holding tackle or holding free kick.
And she might have been lucky there that she didn't take possession of the football.
Yeah, because she was in trouble, Cowan.
And she chips it out wide and finds Xanthos. I don't think they're going to have time to get all the way down the ground, but the turnover might give the Hawks a chance. Hand pass over the top. Wonderful step put on there by Hipwell. Goes towards full forward. 3-on-1 contest here in favour of North, but it'll be won by the one. Davidson on the siren. Just the wrong side of the post. That would have been a spectacular way to finish the half.
Far out. It was very close.
Straight defeat. First tap by Pavic, the debutant. Trying to work her way through was DeCosmo, couldn't quite. We're going to get a secondary ball up as the umpire will come in to sort things out once again. Tap down by King, gathers it straight out of the ruck herself and dumps it inside 50. No mark taken there by Butler. Clearing kick for the Hawks. How will it bounce? McLaughlin had it knocked away by Ling. As Val said, good to see her back out there. And holding the ball is the decision paid here.
Very interesting call.
Very quick call.
Yeah.
Goes to McLaughlin against Flanagan. Kicks to half forward. And strong mark being taken there for the Hawks. Hipwell drives it down inside 50. Luke, was she dealt with? Umpire said no. Nice hand pass up from Slaney to Xander. Pops it out wide, knocked to ground there by Everest. Did she give away a free kick? Umpire said play on. Gathered by Jackson, under pressure. Lost possession of the ball. Stone picked up the loose one, went towards Luke. Front spot and was held. Too big and too strong, and the only way that they were stopping her taking that mark, Nicole Hales, was to infringe. And Luke with 2 first quarter goals. And if she kicks this one, well, it's almost done and dusted already, Val.
I do agree. Danger signs for North Melbourne.
Matilda Xander coming off the ground, not very comfortable either, as Luke does kick her 3rd goal. The margin blows out to 33 points, and this is a statement so far from the Box Hill Hawks.
So close early. That first quarter was so congested and so tight, and all of a sudden, they've just blazed away here, Box Hill. And Tamara Luke has been such a brilliant option up forward for them. Her 3rd goal of the day. Kicked 1 goal, 1 last week. 36 years old and still so much to offer. Who says 36 is old? Jonty?
When I'm 44, definitely not me.
We go up again in the middle. King gets the handball out. It's Bascarin once more who gets the kick forward. Matten going along with Meyer. Williamson gets in there. Goes back to Bascarin. To Williamson. Another 1-2 with Bascarin inside the attacking 50 towards the pocket. There is a free kick being paid, and it's going to go the way of the Hawks. And guess who? Tamara Luke. This is a much more difficult kick from the pocket. Wrong side for a right footer as well. Tamara Luke. That never looked online. Out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, a little bit lackadaisical, I suppose, wasn't she, on that shot?
It was a very laconic run-up, wasn't it?
That's the word that I was looking for. Around the grounds, Essendon 3-7-25 lead Southport 2-4-16 in the men. Werribee 4-3-27, GWS 4-1-25. Earlier today, Williamstown winning against the Western Bulldogs in the VFLW. As the kick comes up to half-back, Williamson couldn't take the mark. Nice hand pass from Flanagan. Theodore stood up in the tackle, but handballed it straight back into traffic. And Rhodes wasn't getting away from there. The umpire will have to sort it out. Adam Bales, John Clark, Josh Hamilton umpiring today. The men in green as Williamson's got through the tackle, gave it to Dylan, puts it into the pocket, and Jess Matten sees it land on her chest. Judged the fall of the ball nicely, and where it was going, Jess Matten. She's a good kick at goal too. 4 straight in the first 2 games of the season before missing a couple through injury. had a sore hip over the last couple of weeks. So from 38 metres out, she kicks absolutely beautifully. And Box Hill staking a claim for flag favouritism in the first third of the VFLW season. They lead by 39 points.
That was a wonderful kick on goal. She just read the breeze, read the distance, read everything perfectly, and it arced back so beautifully. Jess Matten, brilliant, brilliant shot. And that lead now, Jonty, at 39 points. It's getting concerning for the Kangaroos.
It's long since gone past concerning, I think. This is
ultra concerning.
Yeah, this is one-way traffic at the moment. The other VFLW games on today, about to start at 1 o'clock. GWS taking on Geelong, and then there's a couple of others coming a little bit later on. Sydney versus Casey, 5 minutes after that in Blacktown. Carlton play Port Melbourne with Darcy Vesio lining up for the Blues. Darebin and Collingwood and Essendon and Southern Saints.
Bascarin got a free kick out of the middle, and it feels like that's North are getting too desperate here, and they're infringing a little bit too much. This kick coming in from Hipwell. It's long, it's penetrating, it's right to the teeth of goal. Mark didn't quite come off, but it will now. And another goal, and it's a beautiful one at that. Emily Everest. Well, she's made a win for North Melbourne seem like an Everest-like task with that goal. 45 points the difference. A beautiful crumb, a sensational snap, and they are piling them on.
Yeah, they're a class above, aren't they? They're too quick. They're too skillful at the moment. And they've got North Melbourne panicking.
Bascarin, 17 disposals. Absolutely brilliant start to the game from her.
They look a completely different team when Bascarin's let off the chain. And yeah, she's now got Audrey Rhodes running alongside her, but the cat's out of the bag as they break clear again through Pavic, puts it inside 50. It'll be intercepted, however, by Meyer. McSweeney wanted it short. Meyer decided to go into the middle of the ground. McClendon knocked it away from McLaughlin. Hand pass came back in to traffic. It'll be sent to half forward. Oh, that was brave from Flanagan getting in front of Tamara Luke. Collingwood knocks the ball away from Flanagan, but Flanagan kept her feet and stayed in the contest. It'll spill out the back. That'll be a high tackle. Umpire unable to see it standing on the other side of the contest. And it'll be a ball up on forward 50 for Box Hill.
Certainly will. Feels like the ball is just keeping to this right of screen in this quarter. North Melbourne doing everything they can, but they just can't seem to get it out. McLaughlin did get it out, and it went to DeCosmo. And the wall of Hawks is just there, and Embleton sends it back inside 50. The pack flies. Collingwood is down there. Again, just thudded away, and it'll come back. Another intercept mark taken by Kemp.
There just doesn't seem any way that North Melbourne can score at the moment.
No. Their defensive setup is superb. Spills to ground. Flanagan was there. It came out to Matten. The snap's going to arc away from goal. And Xanthos is going to mop it up and kick it away for North Melbourne, but the mark spilled, and Kenobi did really well. Got it away to Thorne. Goes inside. The mark will drop there. One that she definitely should have taken, and that'll be holding the ball. So Rosie Dillon would like to have that moment back.
Rhodes pops it about 5 metres away. Doesn't find the target. Grabbed without the football was McSweeney. Umpire decided to let it play. Hawks will potentially get it back again. Flanagan gave it to Meyer, though, for North. Put it into open space, but only as far as that was Kemp, who put it back to half forward. Turnover time. Meyer will have another crack at it. Sheridan under pressure. And it's going to be tied up. The umpire circled around, but was never going to pay a free kick on that occasion.
Johnny, 27 inside 50s to 14 in favour of Box Hill at the moment.
And I would hazard a guess at about 17 or 18 in a row, maybe. As the free kick for shepherding in the ruck goes in favour of Tamara Luke. doing the main ruck work today as well with Grace Matzer out of the team. Seen her running water. Pavic having a go as well as Xanthos brings it across half-back and gets it to Tierney. Djuk has had to come a long way up the ground. Can she show her skills on this occasion? Does so. Goes to half forward. Sheridan the target, but camped in front and taking an easy mark was Kemp. And they're off and away again here, the Hawks. Everest to Davidson. Right in front of broadcast. Everest wants it back and will get it. Flanagan stands the mark. And it gets to McClendon. And this time, she'll have to stop. Sets it up towards the flank. And Luke arrived, didn't quite hang on to it, did everything but. King, fed a hand pass off to Meyer. Saw a target out of the corner of her eye and put it into the path of Theodore. Stepped around McClendon. Kicks to a 1-on-2. Stone at the back. Now Thorne gives it back to Embleton, who turns on a dime, brings it in board. Well done, Box Hill, and they can steady through Dillon.
They can. You can have a breath now, John T. It just didn't stop. Embleton goes in board. And his short chip passing is working. Williamson inside the attacking arc. Mark dropped by McLaughlin. Ling back on the ground. Great to see. She had a hard fall before. Jackson tries to go back to Ling. Corralled by Williamson. And a high tackle or high infringement will go to Amanda Ling, the number 24 for North Melbourne. On the middle road side of the ground. That'll go out of play. No, it does stay in on the outer side. Locke got it away to Stone, and they try and kick it forward here. Somehow the ball does stay in. Barber this time escorts it out, or was it a push in the back? I think a push in the back, and it'll go to Xanthos on the outer side. North Melbourne have not gone inside 50 yet this quarter, and we sit at over halfway, 11 and a half minutes gone. Box Hill have just been an absolute powerhouse so far. Williamson down there, went over the head of McLaughlin. Jackson for North Melbourne manages to paddle it out. Tierney, maybe they will get that entry inside forward. Djuk running forward. Look at how quick she is. Nykote Djuk does well, gets a handball away. Felicity Theodore for a much needed goal. Oh yes.
Very good footy that from North Melbourne. They finally managed to get their hands on the footy and get a little bit of space, and showed exactly what they're capable of.
100% strike rate inside 50 this quarter.
First goal since the opening term.
It was Renee Tierney's goal.
It was Tierney's snap, and that came way back at the 18-minute mark of the opening quarter. So it's been, what's that? 2, 22, 12, 34 minutes of football.
It's a long time.
In which, and that goal that she kicked put her team in front. So since then, the Hawks have kicked 7 unanswered goals. 666 warning here for Box Hill with them making an interchange on the goal, and Ainsley Kemp not quite able to make it to the zone in time. I think after 5 or 6 years, and I harp on it a little bit, but I think it's time to just pay the free kick first up, isn't it? Maybe not so much on that particular instance, but the other ones. North Melbourne, can they make it 2 in a row? Ripped away from there very nicely by McLaughlin. And she got caught high. There's 2 players down, 1 for each team, as a flying shot goes on goal. And it's off target.
Try and see who's down here. That's Grania McLaughlin.
It's Grania McLaughlin and Rosie Dillon, who I think it might have been a head clash earlier on, and McLaughlin kept going and won the football bravely before realising that she was hurt.
She hasn't moved.
Dillon's coming off in the hands of the trainers as well. And behind to Nykote Djuk.
So, still in the hands of trainers, but I think we're going to get the ball back in here. She is coming off McLaughlin. has a smile on her face as well, which is good. So
the Irish school teacher, Gráinne McLaughlin, playing her second game. She's come across to Melbourne University.
It's really nice to see that she's okay, because she didn't move for quite a while after receiving the knock. So
I thought it was a courageous effort, because she played on for probably about 10 metres and actually won the ball in a 1-on-2 contest after the knock, before going into ouch that hurt mode.
Yep. Well, clock never stopped there, so
no stretcher, so now it does tick on.
So Box Hill have gained a couple of extra minutes here. Tierney takes a really good intercept mark right on attacking 50. Can they manufacture a second unanswered here, the Kangaroos? Tierney will go to the hot spot. Comes off the chest of her teammate down there, and the Box Hill Hawks can't quite pick up the ball. They do now. Quick kick coming out of the scrimmage. And that's got to be a mark paid to De Cosmo. It is. She wheels around very quickly. Spots a teammate. And it's Scott. So Annabelle Scott, probably a kick and a half from home. She's going to look for a teammate here. There's so many players right in front of goal. She goes right to the hot spot. Dejuk is down there. Can't quite get the ball. Here is Kenobi. Finds McClendon to Baskarin. And they can propel it outside the defensive 50. McLaughlin, she's infringed upon, and will take the ball at half back.
Hayley McLaughlin got up there through the agency of Collingwood. Went to Baskarin, who's followed up nicely to win the footy back on the wing. Making a statement today, but not with that kick. Sarah King standing uncontested behind the footy. Gave it off to Slaney, who kicked straight into the player on the mark. North, however, still have the numbers. De Cosmo got it to Tierney. Tumbles it towards half forward. Stone attacks the football. Grabbed it and then got grabbed herself. Nice tackle from Theodore. Ball up in the centre square. Of course, stay with us as the day goes on. The men of these two clubs locking horns here from 2 o'clock, Box Hill and North Melbourne.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a heavyweight contest, I reckon. As Spammer goes towards half forward. I thought this was 2, but one heavyweight has really made a statement. As McLaughlin puts it inside 50, hand pass over the top. Can it get to Matten? Fed it back McLaughlin. Handball over to Hipwell. Off a step, kick was smothered. Secondary effort came from Locke. And she screamed in frustration as it went across the face.
It's been a couple of those moments for Box Hill so far. They've had their chances to kick a couple from close range, but that one, not the easiest of chances. It was sort of a quick kick away. 9-6-60 to 3-3-21. 2.5 minutes to go in this third term. Massive collision there with the shoulders of De Cosmo and Pavic. The kick from King, not so good. Stone is going to run onto it and wrap up. Audrey Rhodes and North have had a little bit of respite this quarter after kicking that goal. Had a couple of repeat entries inside 50, but still just that one goal this term. Box Hill have been magnificent. The kick came from Dillon and a nice grab from Locke, who kicked a nice goal in the second term, and she hits up a teammate on the lead in the form of Cassie Davidson. Davidson called the play on by the umpire, goes right to the square. The pack will fly. Rhodes mops it up. Tackled to the ground. A couple of groans down there at the thud of Rhodes.
It was a solid landing.
Yeah. So King and Locke go up for it. Big mismatch there. We'll get another ball up inside attacking 50, and a minute 20 to go in this third quarter. Go up again, another mismatch in terms of Locke and King. But they managed to regroup. The quick kick forward goes almost through, almost off the boot, but it'll be a rush behind in the end for the Hawks.
Had to be desperate because Hipwell was there on the line and only needed to get a boot to it. It was well done by Nick Hales, playing game number 83 today. I think there's only about 2 or 3 ahead of her in the all-time games tally. Kick inside 50, it goes. Taken by Xanthos, stolen, however. Hawks back towards the goal square. Tracking it is Hales with Sophie Locke. Hales did well. Managed to flick it up to Meyer, who stepped around and brought it back up to half-back. It's a 1-on-3 contest. The one wins to Cosmo. It was a wonderful kick and just as good a mark. Plays on into the middle of the ground. Dejuk the target. Contested grab. This is promising for North Melbourne. She has to go, though. She has to go. She hears the calls from the bench finally. Puts the kick inside 50 and turns it over to McClendon. Yeah, there was no time awareness there, was there?
No.
The bench knew. The bench knew. Dejuk didn't hear. Dejuk didn't hear the call. A little bit more. They'll need to go back to the drawing board. I'm Brendan Rhodes. This is Val Febo.
Thank you very much, Jonty. Free kick already out of the ruck, and it's going to go to North Melbourne, so they can get that first propel forward and go towards the attacking 50. Naiko Dejuk. It's been a day of almosts for her. She's done some wonderful things, but it's also overrun it a couple of times. Slapped out of the hands of North, and it'll come to Dylan. So Box Hill looking to start this doubleheader in perfect fashion. They play North Melbourne's men at 2:05 local time today. And they're already going to be at a 50% ratio. 1 from 1. Ling, as I said before, great to see her back on. Tierney runs through a couple. Jackson arches the back. Goes with the kick forward. A wonderful grab. One-handed, and listen to the fans. They enjoyed that. And it's Embleton. Just managed to juggle the mark, and she'll go back along the wing. The pack will fly, and it goes over the top of everybody. McLaughlin's going to have to pick this up cleanly. She's only got one option forward, didn't really look. And oh no, played on, and that's got to be gone. It is. Not sure what was going through the mind of Slaney there, but a brilliant tackle from Locke. And
I think there was just no talk.
No.
No talk. It has been quite surprising from a team that I expected big things from.
Yep, Sophie Locke. Just drifts to the near side.
And I don't want to sound too harsh. Box Hill are a wonderful team, and North Melbourne's had a horrible fixture. Sydney last week. It should ease up a little bit from here, and that's a wonderful mark taken by Paterno. Puts it out to the wing into the path of Jackson, who can go to half forward. She goes looking for Sheridan and finds her. Plays on and pops it towards the 50, misses the target. Dejuk knocks it to ground. Tierney dives on the football. And the umpire says my ball. Around the grounds, Williamstown a win by 21 points over the Bulldogs. 2 games in Sydney about to get underway in the next 5 minutes or so. This is the second one of the round as this kick goes out of play just inside the 50. So it'll be a throw in. North Melbourne in attack. The boundaries, John Peck and Oliver Pratt. The goals, Sam Poland and Courtney Stelling. Hadn't given them a plug yet today. No issues with what they've done in this game, all 7 of them. That is a very nice throw in too. It gets all the way over the back where Slaney goes to half forward. Spammer tries to tap it out. Collingwood has a go at it as well, can't do so. McLaughlin ripped away from her by De Cosmo. Tierney, wonderful hand pass. Rhodes into the path of Theodore. Bounce didn't favour her. Tapped it on cleverly to Sheridan. Put it back towards Flanagan or Jackson. Can she control it? She can't. And the ball just did not want to play for North Melbourne right there.
It really didn't. Just gave them nothing. But they do get that stoppage inside 50. They trail by 41 points. Just the solitary behind kick so far in this term off the boot of Sophie Locke. So a brilliant tackle. Toss back in. Comes off Tierney. Here's Jackson. Handball back outside 50. McSweeney goes towards goal. The pack will fly. It's going to come off hands. And they can move it out through Dylan. Bounces high above all the players. Jackson will get it towards Tierney. Managed to get it out really well to De Cosmo, who goes towards the pocket, but that's going out of bounds on the full.
So it's going to be a Hawks free kick for Matilda Van Berkel. She'll give it everything and bring it outside 50. Luke with a 1-on-3. Can't beat that. Jackson back in towards the pocket. Bounces off the hands of Van Berkel. Hooked back by Sheridan. Not enough out of play on the full. And it went almost right along the backside of the goal line.
Yep, it did.
If it had been
a metre forward.
Well, even a foot further forward and gone inside the posts, would have been a pretty fair attempt. As Tamara Luke pulls down contested marks, as Tamara Luke does. Gives the hand pass to Bascarin, who's been wonderful today. Shrugged one tackle and then kicked to open space in the centre of the ground, waiting for it to bounce there. Was Thorne, gave it to Matten. Long kick to half forward. Hipwell couldn't take the mark, but runs onto the loose ball. Champagne football, Box Hill.
You took the words out of my mouth, Jonty. I was literally about to say champagne football once that went through, because that's exactly what it was. They moved it superbly.
From the kick in, from out of bounds on the full. Next to the behind post, a contested mark, and just kicks to advantage all the way down the ground. And yep, right now, they are quite clearly the best team in the competition. And forget the AFL, that they do having good contributions from their AFLW players, but the VFLW ones are being just as important right now.
And it was so fitting that Charlotte Bascarin and Tamara Luke were the ones that sort of linked it up at half back and were able to set that up thanks to a brilliant contested mark from Luke and a brilliant kick into space by Bascarin. So North get it forward first again. The bounce favours Jackson, who's had a little bit of it in this quarter, and the handball didn't really help Rhodes too much. She ended up getting it back. And there is Barber. But this defensive pressure has been mighty from the Box Hill Hawks. And if we look at some of the tackling statistics, they've led 40-27 in this contest so far, Box Hill. So when you've had more of the ball and laid more tackles, that is what tends to be a wonderful day at the office, and that's what it has been. They lead it by 47 points, 18 scoring shots to 6. It's been pure dominance from the Hawks over the Kangaroos.
Certainly has, and there's a free kick.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Dejuk just getting a little bit too overzealous with the tackle and took down Butler quite aggressively.
Bascarin it was there, and it went short. Found Spammer. There's a solid contest off the ball, and Tam Lucas stayed down. Keep an eye on that. Everest goes to half forward. Lovely kick. Davidson bounced off her chest. Had to go back and get it. Hooked it around the corner. The early mistake created the second one. And the mark taken by Xanthos. Pops it short and gives it to Meyer, who's tried hard at half back. Terrible kick, however. Misses Ling, who'll get it back, however, off Paterno. Tries to go through, does Meyer. And it'll be tied up. And it was Paterno having another go at it, but being caught with the footy. Luke looks okay, wandering down into the forward line here as Dylan puts a hand pass over the top and finds Jackson for North Melbourne. To half forward she goes. Stone in the front spot. Got a hand pass away. Making the tackle there. It came to Scott McClendon, it was, who made the tackle, and Dejuk with a 1-on-2 takes a terrific mark.
That's one that she'll be pretty pleased with, Naiko Dejuk.
It's a strength marking and goaling. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities to do that today. Just the one behind in the third quarter. Playing at her third VFLW club. A couple of games for the Bulldogs. 23 for Collingwood. Number 5 for North Melbourne. And this is goal number 8 for the Kangaroos. They get the first of the last quarter. And the margin comes back to 41 points again.
Yeah, brilliant mark from Dejuk, who's toiled hard and look, there's been a couple of almost moments for her today where she's just not known her own pace, really, and just overrun the ball, and the ball has bounced it in a fickle way for her, but she'll take that, and she's toiled hard. So 41 points the buffer for the Box Hill Hawks.
First goals to both GWS and Sydney against Geelong and Casey up in the Harbour City.
Barber had it taken off her, but went in, got it to King, gave it back to Barber. Just treacles one forward. De Cosmo will run onto it and kick it inside the 50, right to the square. Off the hands of Paterno. And they'll force it out. Baskarin will run onto it. Manage to sort of put it down, and they can force it forward again. Cassie Davidson just couldn't quite get her hand on the ball, and Talia Maida is wrapped up. So Box Hill have been wonderful today. They are going to go 5-0 to start this VFLW season. They've had some good moments over the last couple of years, but this season they are priming themselves for victory. De Cosmo goes towards goal. How will it bounce for Dejuk? It's going to outrun her, but she will get there. She does slip, though, and that doesn't help. Manages to keep it out. Jackson sort of pushed off it. Dejuk will run onto it. She's quick. Can she get a second? It's going to drift across everything and go out of play.
2 clear free kicks for North Melbourne there. Dejuk caught high. She bent over to pick up the football.
And there was that push
and
against
then the push
Theodore
in the back,
to Theodore, sorry.
So a bit unlucky not to get those, but they do still have a scoring opportunity here. Can they make something count and make it 2 in a row? Luke with the tap. Rhodes dispossessed as she tried to burrow through. Michaela Williamson puts it into open space. Filling that space now is Thorne. Has to turn back around Jackson and did so nicely. The kick not so good. Meyer dropped the mark but was able to recover. Back onto the right boot. Sent it back from where it came. Jackson and Thorne again. Thorne will win a free kick for holding. Put herself in the A1 position. And Jackson grabbed hold of it. Thorne into the middle of the ground for Baskarin. Wonderful performance by Charlotte Baskarin today. A real bounce back. Gave it off to Van Berkel, who goes inside 50. Lovely kick and finds Collingwood.
How clean have they been today, the Box Hill Hawks?
When they're on the move, absolutely extremely clean. To check out the efficiency. Be able to get that a little bit later on, hopefully. Gabby Collingwood lines up in front of the cricket nets from 45 metres out and kicks absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
From 40 metres out, Gabby Collingwood, the goal umpire, did not even move Courtney Stelling. And that is the first goal of the season for Gabby Collingwood, the former Brisbane Lion.
Might not be the most famous goal she's kicked at this ground.
No, the famous one on debut after the siren to beat Carlton.
I had the pleasure of calling that. But my word, that was a brilliant kick. And you summed it up perfectly. I think gorgeous is probably the best way to describe it, because it just sailed through it sailed through beautifully. So the Box Hill Hawks move again to a 47-point lead. Their second goal of the quarter. We go up again in the middle. King tried to sneak the boot in. Paterno in the midfield, getting a go there. King at ground level. A couple of players diving in. Spamer got it out. Sarah Flanagan. But only as far as Everest, and that kick inside 50, a little bit grubby, and Amanda Ling makes good of it. Gets the handball to De Cosmo. She gets it to Jackson, but the handball wasn't great, and it bounced away from Jackson, who's going to try and go back in. Williamson to McLaughlin. And now they can force it forward here, the Box Hill Hawks. Matten to Spammer. High, up and under. Hipwell couldn't quite take the mark. Not 15, play on. And they just clear it. Williamson back inside 50. Away from her teammate in Davidson. And we'll get a stoppage inside attacking 50 for the Hawks.
Good defence again from Talia Meyer, who I reckon's probably been North Melbourne's best player. Worked really hard on half-back. Might not have the highest numbers, but her impact on the game, it would have been a lot worse if it wasn't for Talia Meyer, the former Western Bulldog. As the ball came back into play, and it's going to be an umpire's stalemate. How many for Talia Meyer?
Talia Meyer, she has had 15 disposals. 12,
Here's
12
McLaughlin
kicks.
off the ground. There was another one, a toe poke there for Meyer. Ling put it up by hand. Meyer with a couple to beat, couldn't do so, out of play.
So 15 disposals for Meyer, 12 kicks, 3 marks, 2 tackles today. 56 ranking points.
Done a fair bit without the footy as well.
Yep.
So really liked her game. Luke won it down. Williamson fumbled. McLaughlin's waiting for it. Will it get to her? It will now. Gave it off to Dylan. Step back onto the right boot. Hooked it towards the goal square. Hipwell couldn't quite. Collingwood on the left. Can't hook it back. Through for a behind.
Margin out to an even 8 goals.
Round the grounds, GWS 3-4-22. Geelong no score after 12 minutes. Sydney 3 straight 18. Casey no score after 7.
Audrey Rhodes down here. She's going to be helped off by the trainer. Not sure exactly what happened there, but she's really struggling to move and grimacing.
Wondering if it's a left ankle.
Could very well have been. So she's going to be escorted off by the trainers. And we're going to get a kick back in here. Box Hill, look at the way that they're just setting up. They're not letting anything get the better of them here. Just sort of barking instructions of where they want their teammates.
She's in a fair bit of pain, Audrey Rhodes, as she comes off.
Really grimacing.
Not a good sign. And for the best and fairest winner too, that would be a horrible postscript to what's been a pretty ordinary day for the Kangas.
Why does it always seem to happen when teams are getting smashed? There's always some sort of an injury.
You don't like seeing it happen to star players anywhere. Trent Minot did a hamstring for Frankston last night.
And he is one of their stars. The kick right up the middle. Doesn't go very fast. Spamer gets the handball out. And through the scrimmage, Kemp goes high. Right towards goal. And as she has done all day, Bridie Hipwell has presented beautifully up forward. And she'll go back and have a look at her third.
Aerial strength. Aerial strength has been a big difference today. Leg speed too. And just ball skills. They've just beaten them in every facet of the game, Box Hill.
Bridie Hipwell, that did not look good off the boot and stayed out to the right. So 2 goals, 2 for her today. That margin out to 49 points.
So it's going to be brought back in by Mara McSweeney back into the team today. It's it up to half-back. Pings off hands. Spammer loses possession of the football. Gathered there by the Roos. No free kick for Sarah King. Umpire will throw it in the air. She won it down, King. Ball knocked out to Ambleton. Spammer over top of the football. Ferrets it out. Meyer ran straight into a brick wall and was wrapped up before she could go anywhere. That was Pavic with that tackle. King with another hit out. That's 3, which means I'm out. You've got to try and split it for us.
3 strikes and you're out. And Tierney manages to get the handball away. And DeJork, a little bit of soccer skill there as they get the ball forward here. But it's not going to go very far. McLinden goes along towards the wing. Flanagan there, met by Everest. Flanagan got it away. McLindon goes for a run. Goes to Davidson. Matten inside 50. Collingwood's there. What can she do? She can snap. How clever. Kicks it through for a behind. So she's had all 3 of her scoring shots in this final term as Gabby Collingwood. And Brendan Rhodes is going to take you through to the final siren here at Fenju Oval.
Don't underestimate how good that was from Ellie McLindon back on half back. A
Sensational.
1-on-2. It would have been a shot at goal for North Melbourne that became a shot at goal for Box Hill. As Maya puts it into half back. Mark put down there by Dylan, but she still goes through and wins the football. Is there a postscript to this for the Hawks? Collingwood got a hand pass up to Hipwell, taken by Flanagan. Clearing kick came from Annabelle Scott. Turnover time. Danica Spammer. Is there one last one for the Hawks? Thorne sends it in towards goal. Siren beats them, and that is a real statement victory for the Box Hill Hawks.